In the previous episodes, we started the GT3 story with the 996, understanding the build constraints due to the 90s recession.
Come on, Uncle Phil, this is the 90s, man.
Man, it's the 90s. It's hammer time.
The 996 started the legacy against all odds. So if you are buying a GT3 in 2026, which generation do you buy? To answer this, we need to get back to the 997 story. The 996 GT3 was born under pressure. The 997 wasn't. Did that make it better? Let me know what you think. The 997's biggest difference was the new chassis and refined suspension geometry. It isn't softer, it's better engineered. Different setup options are available for tracks, change to ride height, camber, tilt angle, and front and rear anti-roll bar adjustments allow for drivers to tune the setup. And it also uses new lightweight designed materials, reducing unsprung weight, improving the handling of the car. The setup provides accurate feedback to the driver. It's like being in direct contact with the road. But the biggest improvement was moving away from conventional passive dampers. The 997 introduced PASM, Porsche's active suspension management. The active damping provides constant adjustment to individual damping forces based on current road conditions and driving style. It provides the driver with two modes, normal and sports. Normal mode suits real roads and bumpy circuits. Sport is for smooth, modern tracks. The change in character is instantly noticeable. On top of this, the introduction of traction control. The system manages wheel spin under full throttle to keep the rear stable, but it's tuned to stay out of the way in dry conditions. Sport mode pushes that boundary even further. The system can be disabled for maximum driver involvement. Then there's the 19-inch lightweight alloy wheels. Combined with high-performance road tires, the package transforms cornering speed and handling precision. The introduction of variable ratio steering was a big step forward. The system changes the steering ratio depending on how far you turn the wheel. When you're driving straight or making gentle turns, the steering ratio is slower and more stable. As steering angle increases, the rack becomes quicker. You need less steering input to get the same amount of front wheel movement. And let's not forget the braking system. It features a specially adapted brake booster and 350mm internally vented cross-drilled discs on all four corners, delivering confident performance in all conditions. The aerodynamics also provide enhanced cooling to the brake system. Porsche's reputation for braking excellence continues, with 6-piston monoblock calipers up front and 4-piston units at the rear. The driver has total confidence under all circumstances. Also available was Porsche ceramic composite brakes, taken straight from the race car Super Cup series. These are 50% lighter than the metal discs. This reduction in unsprung rotating mass helps to provide more than just braking advantages. It changes the handling and agility of the car. The ceramic brakes are also larger, 380mm at the front and 350mm at the rear. To spot a car using this setup, look for yellow calipers. These brakes are exceptional, offering outstanding fade resistance even during heavy track use. But on the road, This makes the GT3 one of the safest cars available, ready for any braking situation. In terms of safety, the car is equipped with dual-stage airbags that deploy according to the severity of the impact. Side impact safety is also enhanced, using reinforced beams built into the doors. This GT3 is built with both safety and performance in mind, and for track use, the Clubsport package adds a roll cage and 6-point harness. It's equipped with a fire extinguisher and pre-wiring for a battery master cutoff switch. This Clubsport package was available at no extra cost. The rev counter features an upshift light to keep you in the power band. Every detail in this GT3 serves performance. The 997 GT3 is not just a faster version of what came before it. It represents a moment when Porsche finally had the confidence, stability, and resources to build the ultimate expression of the GT3 idea, and without compromise. It doesn't flatter bad driving. It rewards good driving. It tells you when the front tires are loaded, when the rear is ready to rotate, when you're at the limit. In a world of turbocharging, electric steering, driver aids, digital sound, the 997 GT3 stands as one of the best GT cars ever made, and one of the last truly analog, naturally aspirated GT cars ever built. For most manufacturers, this car would have been enough. But Porsche has never stopped at enough. Because within Weissach, the question was never, is this good? It was always, how far can we take it? And that question led to two letters that change everything. RS. 44 mil wider across the rear axle than the GT3. The rear wing is made from genuine carbon fiber. It's not just lighter than the GT3, it has a larger surface area, creating additional downforce. And it's still adjustable. The rear screen is made from lightweight plastic, saving 3 kilos over the glass on the GT3. The RS doesn't try to look fast. Everything about it feels like it's already doing 150, even when it's standing still. Those contrast decals aren't there for decoration. They're there to tell you this car was born from racing. Where the standard GT3 is purposeful, the RS is intimidating. It doesn't whisper performance, it broadcasts it. You can't just walk past an RS. You have to stop and look at it. So have Porsche added this RS to the 911 lineup and built the best GT3 ever? You will have to wait for part 8. See you again soon. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and give it a like.